Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So, hey, look, man. Talk about, during the live today, we talked about this, but I'm telling you, one guy in the live said when he read about Adrien Broner signing to Don King, he almost spit his coffee out. And when I read about it, man, I'm telling you, man, my mouth was agape. My tongue fell out my mouth, wrapped around the head and drug across the top of my scalp in shock. I mean, what exactly is going on? But nonetheless, Adrien Broner signs a deal with Don King. Don't have much specifics on the deal, except he is now being represented by Don King. And I would have never in a million years thought that things would get so bad for Adrien Broner, AB, about to make a big mistake. I guess the mistake's already been made. But look, man, only in America would you find an opportunist like Don King still convincing fighters to sign to him. Adrien Broner is nothing but a gatekeeper now. And that's the position that he's in. Don King is out here saying that the gauntlet is down. It's like 5 or 6 articles written on it. They all say the same thing. Every article is the exact same. Oh, we've raised the gauntlet, or he dropped the gauntlet. All promoters, he talked about Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Lou DiBella, Golden Boy. Any of your elite fighters basically saying Adrien Broner is ready for him. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just not so sure Adrien Broner is ready for any elite fighter. During the live, we were talking about, who could possibly be an opponent for Adrien Broner. And of course, I threw out there, Blair Cobb. And normally I'm always joking about Blair Cobb, but seriously, I think that's an ideal matchup for it. But I think Adrien Broner loses to Blair Cobb. But my thing is, I understand people don't. I know he burnt bridges, and he put himself in this position. But you can look at this 2 ways, right? That Adrien Broner is a fool for signing to a guy like Don King, who Zab Judah has gone on record and said, hey, he don't treat you right. They give you a lot of money up front in cash. And then on the back end of those fights is where he takes that money from you. So he spoil you up front. But then at the end, and then once he gets you in that ring to fight, then he take that money out your check. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. But Larry Holmes talked about it. Muhammad Ali talked about it. Mike Tyson talked about it. Zab Judah talked about it. And a number of other fighters. But everyone knows about Mike Tyson, and his whole situation with Don King. So when we look at it, right, we can say Adrien Broner made a mistake, but some people are saying, Don King made a mistake. The same will say, why in the world would Adrien Broner take a chance on a promoter like Don King with such a bad reputation? Well, conversely, why the hell would a guy like Don King at age 91 want to roll the dice on a guy like Adrien Broner, who's extremely high risk and has proven to be a guy who lacks discipline and could let you as a promoter down, you as a network down, someone as a manager down, someone as an advisor down, and more importantly, the people who make him who he is, his fans down. So that's the real question. But I tell you what, I went out there to Twitter and just to kind of get a pulse on what people are thinking. So let's look at some of the things people are saying about Adrien Broner signing to Don King. Now, this is the picture of him, right? Now, when I looked at this picture, I just said, okay, Adrien Broner looked like he cleaned himself up. Don King, the American flag, only in America, no problem. I saw a little bit of joke money on the table. I don't know how much it is, but it just looks like, for me, like this picture is, they didn't have to put the money on the table. I just think they're trying to force something to give the image that this is a great deal, a multi-million-dollar deal. But I could be looking into it. I just think it's corny to take a picture with the money on the table. But at least Adrien Broner found somebody to give him a little bit of dough, right? What the young boys say, he secured the bag. But if you go through some of the comments, People are already saying, whatever money is in Broner's hand, that's his cut. The rest of the money on the table is Don's. That's hilarious. You come down day one with King and Broner already getting gray hairs. He's in the end game now. So they're saying Broner's already stressing from Don King's ways. Another guy says he moans about his worth. Now he's gone with someone who's known for not paying and robbing fighters, and that's true. But Don King will tell you. Look, this is the thing. Don King will tell you. A reporter confronted him and said, "Don King, so how does it feel to have robbed so many fighters?" And Don King, out of all the reporters who were talking, he wasn't ignoring her up, but he heard that guy. And he turned to him and said, he feels so good about what he did to those fighters. He robbed them so bad that he turned them all into millionaires and took them out the ghetto and out of poverty. He treated them so bad that he turned them into millionaires. Now, Don King has a point. He has a point. He did turn those guys into millionaires. But at the end of the day, you robbed those people, Don, so get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? If they made $3 million, it was supposed to make $30 million, right? Don, it wasn't your right to take that $27 million, So don't take it to the stupid. Hold your horses, old man. Get out of here with that. Don King is a trip, but that's how he feels, People still talking about, say whatever you want, as far as how Don King dominated boxing back in the day. Look, it's over, because right now, this man had Trevor Bryant, Bermain Stavern. He was out of here, but now it looks like he got a second chance, a third, fourth, fifth chance at boxing with Adrien Broner. Someone says, good Lord. Again, talking about the old days, the best pay-per-view matches, we get it. Desperate time, desperate measures. That's absolutely what I think this is. I think Don King needs something and Adrien Broner needs something. So they're able to come together, establish what it looks like up front is going to be a complementary relationship. But when as things progress with their relationship, I think it's going to turn into a supplementary relationship. I'm just not sure who's going to be the one doing the supplementing. It just depends on who decides to continue with their bad habits and the patterns that they've had in the past. Because, Adrien Broner, he's not a disciplined fighter. And if he decides now to come and take advantage of Don King or whatever little money that Don King's giving him, we know that's not going to work out well for Don King. He's in a supplementary relationship. But if Don King continues with his ways and not paying Broner the kind of money that he promised him, but locked him in for like a 4 or 5 fight contract, well, now Broner's supplementing him because he has to come and give him these fights, and he's not getting what was promised. Don King with those contracts, Don King is a monster with those contracts. He's very nefarious. I hope Adrien Broner had his lawyers look at it. Don still at the suitcase. Yeah, you guys remember, I did a story about this where Don King approached Larry Holmes with a suitcase, a duffel bag or something full of money. It was like $750,000. And was like, come on, brother, to make a fight. I can't remember who he was bringing him back to fight against, but he brought him back to fight against somebody out of retirement. And he gave him the duffel bag full of cash. And Larry Holmes took the fight. I can't remember who it was, but I remember watching Larry Holmes talk about it when he was on Vlad TV, and I was cracking up. So yeah, Don King's all about the cash instead of checks and instead of money transfers and wires. They say Don still got money from 1988. Man, Don King made so many millions of dollars. It's crazy. Tyson and Judah said no one paid more up front money than Don King. The problem is that the only money they would get from him, man, he would shortchange the rest at no pay at all sometimes. And that's what I was just saying. Those are the things I've heard about him. At some point, boxing will have to outgrow characters like King, and every person who thinks that a fight needs their name attached just to happen. The fact that one has helped make boxers rich is irrelevant. Their presence is an insult to the hours of training they put in. I mean, I don't know about that, but what the F is Broner doing? Surely a proper promoter could have signed him. Well, Carlo, I don't know much about you and what you're posting here on Twitter, but you're not up on boxing because, you know, all them promoters are scared of Adrien Broner right now. He had to be in a bad way to sign with Don King. And my thing is this, right? We know Adrien Broner is in a bad space, but why he didn't sign with De La Hoya? I mean, you want to make fights at 147? Well, you signing with Don King. Like, who is Don King going to secure for him? That's all I'm saying. He signed with BLK Prime. That obviously didn't work out. Supposed to be more than $10 million for a 3-fight deal, right? And that didn't work out. Now you're there in the breeze. De La Hoya wanted to sign him. You know, he definitely can't go back to PBC right now. I just think they kind of just want to let him go and do his thing. He said some things about their business, but, you know, they don't play that. Even Eddie Hearn would have signed him, but I think Broner had unrealistic financial expectations and demands from these promoters. But it makes me wonder what exactly happened between him and Don King for him to feel that Don King was where he belonged. I think Don King is also from Cincinnati, isn't he? Is he also from Ohio? I know he's from the Midwest somewhere, so that could be how Don King got him. Start talking, you know, the Midwest slang to him. They start talking that country grammar like they do in St. Louis. But they're from Ohio. He probably got him with the Midwest slang. And Adrien Broner now is in the position he's in. But as we continue going down, just looking at some of the comments, people say you're going to end up like Tim Witherspoon. Good to see Twin get paid. Y'all ever read Don King's background story? Yeah, we are. I think a lot of us know the story of Don King. But at the end of the day, let's go ahead, and I'll go ahead and leave that alone. Boxers never learn, I agree. But you know what? I don't know what to say. But I think Broner's he's vulnerable, man. He's vulnerable. He's in a state of panic. He's got a lot of kids. He loves his kids, but he has serious child support payment. He has a lifestyle he created, but it's just not adding up. But I can't wait till we get the specifics on the deal. But it's crazy, right? And during the live, we're talking about Broner, right? You look at Adrien Broner, and for his next fight, I think a guy like Broner, and I said this during the live, I think a guy like Broner fighting whoever he's going to fight, it's not going to be a big name, right? More than likely, I don't think so. Could be, but I doubt it. The kind of money he's going to make, because he is still a draw, he's still somebody, it's probably going to be the same as the money that Crawford would make if he was fighting that same opponent. Or he'd probably make more money than Crawford, fighting whatever opponent he's going to fight. And that is just sad that arguably Crawford is probably top 3 pound for pound in boxing, right? But it's sad that a guy like Broner and Crawford can have the same opponent, and Crawford would still probably make more money. I mean, Broner would make more money than Crawford just because of his name. And this is something that we need to underscore, which is the importance of self-promotion, understanding, marketing yourself, and making yourself more vulnerable and putting yourself out there to the public for people to get to know you and stuff. Terrence Crawford has an interesting story, but I mean, he's got to figure that out. I mean, he's been doing this for a while, so obviously he's comfortable where he is and what he does. So Crawford's not doing anything. But Adrien Broner, it is what it is, man. This man, I think Broner knows what he's getting into. I believe it. And then when Don King goes out and tells people, look, you can't count your money, then you don't have any. And Don King's all about his money. And it is what it is. It is what it is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just don't understand. I think Adrien Broner has just really made his situation worse. But I'm going to give Don King the benefit of the doubt. He's 91. This is his last opportunity. I mean, look, he doesn't even have any network deals. Everything Don King does is on pay-per-view. You know what I mean? The fights that he puts on are extremely, very small-scaled, but Don King can't put on any of those fights on Showtime. You know HBO's out of business. He can't even put on ESPN, DAZN. He has to be on pay-per-view. So I want to see exactly what's going to happen here. Very curious to see what Don King does and what Adrien Broner does. But that being said, I just don't think Adrien Broner helped himself. I think he did what he had to do based on his circumstances. But I still think, I wish Eddie Hearn would have signed him. Man, he talking about, he get over there, Eddie Hearn, he's got to fight. Basically, Eddie Hearn put people in front of him. And Broner would have had to get over there and fight. A guy like Conor Ben, some other 147-pounders. Eddie Hearn can make fight with Golden Boy. You get Blair Cobb, you get maybe Roach, you get some other 147-pounders. Eddie Hearn, can make fights with Top Rank. So there's a lot more opportunities, but Don King still has some connections. That old man still has some connections, and I'm sure Don King is gonna put Adrien Broner in some fights sooner than later. Just not sure how it's all gonna work out, but I'm gonna try to just give him a chance. Maybe Don King learned from all the mistakes he's made. But that being said, Adrien Broner, though he created his own misery, I do kind of feel a little bad for him. But, when you go back and look at the stuff he's done, blowing $1-2 million in a weekend, flushing money down the toilet, refusing to clean up his language when talking with Al Heyman, when talking with Steven Espinoza, when talking to Leonard Ellaby, when doing interviews, press conferences. Well, this is me. I am what I am. Man, you're talking to Al Heyman, right? A very successful person. This man is the manager, the advisor, the promoter. He is PBC. This man is out here helping you out through your legal woes, giving you money up front. Now you have to pay him back or whatever the deal is, right? They've all put their neck on the line for Adrien Broner. Showtime, PBC, Mayweather, everybody's put their neck on the line for him. And you tell me you don't have it in you to at least clean up your language and not refer to them as the N-word or what's up, my N-word, or you MFers or you BANs and all that. You still want to come out there and talk that way? That's how you want to present yourself? Now you out here catching your tail and nobody wants to help you? You got to go to Don King? Anyway, I understand how he's in this position and why some people are just tired of him. I do. But that being said, and I'm going to tell you this, the same way he's talking and carrying on and just being himself, right? All that ranting and raving and all that noise he's making, Tyson Fury doing the same thing. We've seen Tyson Fury struggle and people turn on him, and Tyson Fury kind of put himself back in that situation this past week with his ridiculous rants about Usyk. So it just is not good to conduct yourself in that way. You're making millions. You're a professional athlete. Conduct yourself as a professional. I'm not saying you should overhaul everything about you, but there's got to be some tweaks. There's got to be some refinements. We all have to do it if you want to continue to grow and progress, unless you're just, someone who's perfect. Which, Blair the Flair Cobb is the only perfect fighter, athlete I know. I'm joking. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Let's see what Don King can do for AB. I'll be watching. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.